Hi, Carl.
Hi.
Good to see you.
All right. Likewise. Do
Really
my kind
nice
of
to see
exile.
you.
I'll do my exile moment.
Okay.
So I couldn't
um,
resist it.
yeah, sure. So yeah, how are you? How are you feeling about Steam and Steemit at the moment? What's going on for you there?
Yeah. Well, Steam it. I don't touch. I use SteemCamp or Partigo to access it,
Mm,
and various other dApps. I mean, I'm still optimistic about it. Obviously, the price isn't great at the moment, but I've been buying in. So I bought 4.5 grand's worth, 4,500 Steam last month. So
okay.
that's a sign that I'm kind of confident.
Mm,
Well, weirdly enough, I'm quite enjoying the fact that there's very few people around. I mean, to me, it's kind of feels like quite niche. I didn't really like that desperate period a year and a half ago when everyone's posting like mad to
yeah,
posting shit to earn a lot of cash. There seems to be less of that about,
yeah,
or
yeah.
maybe
It's
I've
a.
just filtered my feed so I don't see it anymore. But
I
so I'm
think
kind
it's a.
of
Yeah, it's a tricky balance. It's a tricky balance that is part of the whole experiment. I think really,
yeah,
because it is essentially it has that potential for being just a spam machine where
yeah,
people write at the lowest possible level to get the biggest possible rewards. And
yeah,
yeah, so
and
yeah.
that does go on, but it seems to be
Mm,
going on. Well, I don't know whether it's going on less or whether I just kind of
mm,
managed to blank it all out. But I get what I want out of Steam. I mean, to me, an odd platform where I can get paid a little bit of money to uh, talk about stuff that interests me. That I know that I can't make money out of the stuff I write about anywhere else because I've tried. So things like early retirement and
mm.
corporate criticism and blogging about alternative lifestyles, even though I don't really lead one. There's no money in that. But there's plenty of people on Steam that like that sort of stuff that
Yeah.
I've got to know. And as everyone says, the community is great. And there's a bunch of really bizarre, eclectic, kind of strange people on Steam that I've got to know over the last 18 months. All of those interests I mentioned, there's plenty of that about. There's still a lot of anarchists about, aren't there? I wouldn't say I'm
Mm,
so much of an anarchist myself, but I know I am broadly sympathetic. I know, and I'm happy about that. There's also a bunch of more kind of ordinary people that I've met just doing ordinary things, and it's all good. I think the real catalyst for me was going to Steamfest 3 and having met a load of people that I've kept
right.
in contact with. That's really helped to sort of galvanise my enthusiasm and was a real sort of boost to kind of keep me blogging on Steam a lot more than I had been previously to that.
Mm, yeah.
So, so yeah, it's just eclectic interests kind of come together, and all of the stuff, the weird stuff that interests me, the bizarre eclectic interests in alternative lifestyles that I've got. There's so much of it on Steam,
Yeah.
and there's also a lot of very interesting people that I got to know over the years.
Yeah.
I met like Mr. Boom. I mean, the guy from Scotland that blogs about
Hmm.
beer. You must have come across him. Well, I
Yeah. Yeah.
only recently, the last month, I stumbled across him, and I'm like, how on earth have I never come across this guy before? The guy's hilarious. And I'm sure there's more of that. But just undiscovered gems, kind of thing.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Well, and also people come and go as well.
Yeah,
It's it is a transient thing, and the money thing does affect that.
yeah,
And it isn't just about people being spammy. It is that you know not everybody is just blogging no matter what.
yeah,
Some people do get affected, and I know that I've had periods when I've been like, why am I writing all of this stuff
mm-hmm.
for, and nobody reads it, and
No, nobody reads it.
and no matter how many people vote for it,
Mm-hmm.
I still end up with 50p. uh,
Yeah,
you know is it worth it? And that's for me, that's the question for this whole thing anyway. Is it, what makes it worth it to make art, to create, to write,
yeah, yeah,
to be in the world? What makes it worth it? Well, and sometimes my answer to that is I need nothing else. I'm just here to make my stuff and put it
yeah,
out.
yeah.
And sometimes I'm like,
And
I
that's
need
what
to
I'm
make a
interested in. I
living.
mean, the stuff that I blog about, the kind of heavy intellectual stuff, if you like, and the weird early retirement stuff. That stuff I'd already written about that years ago, and so I'm just reformatting it and putting it in a different light. And
Okay.
the kind of anti-corporate stuff I've been meaning to get into massively and do something around that. I mean, I know there's no money in that. That's the kind of stuff that I would write for free, kind of on other platforms. So I know there's no market value for the stuff that I put on Steem. I put the stuff at the market value, the teaching stuff, on my main blog, and I sell exam-related resources. But I also know that if it wasn't for the exam and the desperation of parents and teenagers around this time of year, that I wouldn't be making money out of that either. So I don't really believe there's that much value in kind of average writing. Unless you're going to do a George Monbiot and be the absolute best in your field, because he would be the closest person that touches on most of what I write about, then you're not going to make money out of it. And even he struggles to make a living. I mean, he's got 9 honorary degrees, and he's good at what he does. And he's passionate about, and he's committed, and he's got integrity, and he does the research. But I think there's really only scope for maybe 10 people in the world to make money like he does out of that sort of thing. And for the rest of us, we should be grateful if we make a quid on a post. But you've got to want to write the stuff. But that shouldn't, stop people writing what they want to. But the idea that I can make anything out of it is good. The interaction helps, and it is. I've got a few regulars that comment on stuff like Steve C, Slobberchops. Ian, is that his real name? I think. And
who knows? It's still a mystery. Still a mystery to me.
I think it's Ian. I'm not 100% sure. But I just forget. And so I've got a few people, and then the odd kind of rogue person that wades in, and increasingly people around the world as well. But if I get 5 comments on a post, I'll be quite happy with that. But so it is. It's increasingly. It's never really been about the. Well, I suppose it has been about the money. I mean, when I first started, I got a Curie post for a Curie vote for some shitty post I did about how much money it saves me riding a bike rather than driving a car. And I remember being at work and logging onto Steam at break time and thinking, fuck me, this thing has earned $126, and I'm showing all my mates having a joke about it. And look how much I earned for this shit. You know what I mean? $126. But of course, that was back in the day, and that doesn't happen anymore. But people are, people do chase money, don't they? And if crypto ever goes north again, Steam's going to just ride that wave, isn't it? And because the $3 or the 3 STUs or whatever they're actually worth that I make per person average now, that could be worth 30. And and if my account's ever worth 80 grand, it's there's no way I'm not going to power some of that down and pay my rest of my mortgage off.
Sure.
So there's always that potential, isn't there? I'm writing what I want to. It's a free platform. I get some interaction, and there's lots of bonuses. There's no downsides really, as far as I can see, other than the time, of course.
Well, I think the great thing is that in times like this in a platform when prices are low and you do get to the people who are doing it because they love doing it and they enjoy something else in the thing, and and then that builds something that's important, I think, for the times when you do have every Tom, Dick and Harry and Juliet and whatever coming in and thinking, oh, here's a way for me to make a quick buck on some meme that I've just dragged off Reddit or something,
and they will be able to if they bid. And it does take a long time to, in terms of making money. I do really, really believe that talent's not enough. I've got this theory in teaching that the top 5% of teachers are maybe really talented enough to actually change everyone's lives. The bottom 5% are maybe so awful they're going to ruin all of this. But the rest, the other 90%, make practically no difference at all. As long as we rock up and we're halfway competent, we'll help students a little bit, and no one's really going to mess up. And I think it's the same on Steem. The top 5% of authors, probably not even that, are going to make money purely on the wonders of their content. But for the rest of us, there simply isn't the demand out there. There's not enough people with enough money willing to give us an upvote. So the way we're going to make money is, I mean, Slobbertrots would say you've got to invest, and I agree with that, because it's so obvious that money follows money. As soon as I became a dolphin, I started to get dolphin upvotes. Now I've got something like 13,000 SP. I'm starting to get odd votes by people with 15 to 20,000 SP. Right. Because you inevitably, on Partigo, it's so easy to check out people's Steam, and of course you do. And yeah, you get vote chasers basically, and you get peer chasers, and I'm not too uncomfortable with that, because in a way you could say that it's sort of like a peer reward for putting up the risk, isn't it? As Nanzo Scoop would say, skin in the game. I do get that goes on a lot. I mean, I sort of jokingly I didn't jokingly say to Slobberchops in his post the other day that it's Spud Day, Steam Power Up Day. Why not do a shit post about that? Because that's a guaranteed $3 for me and a guaranteed $8 for you. Right. And look, that broadly corresponds to our Steam Power, doesn't it? Yeah. And then I looked at his wife's post, Bing Babe, who just did a marathon. Her marathon post gets $2. His marathon post about her marathon, it was a good post, gets $8. Same with all his other posts. It's just auto votes, isn't it? And the reason he's got auto voters is because you attract your peers, and that's not about it's about quality and people liking it, but it's about that. That's necessary but not sufficient. It's about that and the money, I think, as well, that you invest. And that's I mean, that bothered me when I was starting out and I didn't have any money invested in the platform. Now it doesn't. It's very shallow and self-centered, isn't it? But that's the truth, and I think a lot of people would probably agree with me if they're being honest with themselves. Yeah.
Well, that's what that's what the joy of this platform for me is, what I learn about me and what I think. Anyway, I mean, that's what blogging has been about from the start for me, has been a way of reflecting on who I am and what I think and what I'm what I'm doing means. This just has an added dimension that it has an explicit payment mechanism in it.
It does seem to be quite naked, but I've always been a fan of just people being honest. I mean, I remember when it was a shared house at university, and there were about 10 of us living there, and there was this I know somebody had befriended this homeless bloke, and he was knocking on the door, and we were all sitting around in the living room going, oh god, that homeless guy's come around again, but no one really wanted him in, you know what I mean? So I was the idiot that got up and just told him to fuck off, basically. And I thought, look, someone's got to basically get up and say what everyone's thinking. And I'd rather people were just honest, and I think that's it. It's, the reason people circle vote or peer vote is because it is a peer support thing. I mean, it used to really wind me up, kind of, the little kind of Exile and Rhea and Ezzy kind of upvote circles that all upvote each other, and they get $20 each or more for doing posts about what they have for dinner tonight. I mean, that used to wind me up, but since I sort of vaguely met them at Steamfest, actually meeting them in person and knowing they're not bad people, they're just friends that want to support each other, it takes the edge off that a bit. And now that I find, well, I'm sort of doing that now. It's like I've got this little kind of mid-level dolphin upvote thing going on with a few people as we've gradually invested, and it's no different to that, is it? Really? No. It's no different. So I can't really criticise that, but it does worry me that to people coming in, that's really repellent, and it was really repellent to me when I first came in. And of course, you need people to keep coming in and buying, and there is an element of Ponzi in Steam, isn't there? As there is with anything, basically. The more you need people to keep buying it for the value of it to keep going up. So and that does threaten, I think, the onboarding. I mean, and you see kind of who's this idiot with a cup of tea and a smug thumb getting $25 the picture of his steak and chips. And it's not until you get to know him and you realise, well, if he's one of the main investors and he's actually quite a nice bloke, and that's just the way it sort of works, get over it, that it starts to become a little bit less repellent.
So
biggest challenge, if you like, that is
sure
is that myself doing it, but I don't mind it, but it does sort of threaten the long-term growth, I think, fundamentally, potentially.
Well, we'll see. We'll continue to see how that develops, I think. So we're doing SteemCamp a week on Saturday in Leicester.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you expecting?
Well, I'm not really. Do you know how many people are going? I mean, I suppose you must do.
We've got between 10 and 15 at the moment.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I'm looking forward to catching up with people that I saw at Steamfest, first of all. And just really, just talking about Steam and comparing people's kind of experiences and thinking about how we can move it forward as well, of course.
Yeah.
And I just want to have a good old Steam chat and try and resist the urge to get drunk in the evening. What if I'm driving? I won't really have a choice. But
okay.
So
there is. I mean, it's there's something about. I mean, I've had this with other platforms in the past. Is that it is just sometimes nice to just sit and talk to people who you don't have to have the initial conversation about. There's this blogging platform and it's on the blockchain, and that means there's a cryptocurrency attached to it. You don't have to explain all of that to them. You can just go straight into, as we have tonight, just talking about things with a common knowledge.
Yeah, it is weird. You assume a certain shared level of understanding, but I've still yet to be able to. I couldn't really explain to someone what a block. Well, actually, I can explain to someone what a blockchain is. Decentralized ledger, so it's distributed storage, and no one centralized person controlling it. That's fairly easy, but any more technical than that, and I would struggle. I mean, where the money comes from, who's got the power to change the distribution rate, what is Steem and SBD, that sort of stuff is beyond me, to be honest.
Right.
I'm just enjoying the ride, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'm not a crypto technical person by any stretch. Explaining. Well, I can explain the principles of it, but it is difficult to put it into layman's terms for someone new, definitely.
Yeah. So what would be your number one thing to talk about? If at the beginning we kind of we say what the most important things are that we want to talk about in the day, and do you know, if I had to put you on the spot? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I should know. I was thinking this through earlier on. Really, I was hang on. Yeah. The whole anonymity thing, because one thing that's been bugging me recently is the Marky Mark. I don't know the guy. I've never really had interaction with him, but
I've only ever seen him in chat and comments.
Quite a well-known person. I put a comment on his post the other day because I've been playing Next Colony and he is, and just noticed that he's basically got 200 odd comments from someone called Animal Control. And I think I know who it is. I'm not even going to mention the name, out of fear on here, sort of thing. But I, following my comment, I then got 2 comments back from this person that's trolling him, and it was basically just 2 images of shit. Basically, the kind of fake kind of you can get from comedy stories.
Right.
It was 2 of those. I got one immediately, and then one about 5 hours later.
Okay.
And clearly, this person is whoever interacts with the Marky Mark is getting this, and I'm like, if that, if that person, you wouldn't, if you were known to the community, you wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? It's anonymity that makes that possible.
Yeah.
And I'm now thinking, well, I get, anonymity. If you want to speak, if you're Julian Assange, you might have been better off with anonymity. You want to criticise nation states and oppressive regimes. That makes sense.
Sure.
But it also empowers weak trolls, teenagers possibly, for all we know, sitting in bedrooms with a bit of coding skill, so they can just do that, because what that person's doing is effectively stopping Marky Mark having freedom of conversation on the Steem blockchain. He can do it in Discord, of course, without being trolled.
Yeah.
But that just annoys me, that sort of thing. And I put a few comments about doing anonymity on Steem, and there's a lot of people that come back and not offensively just say no, but you can tell in their tone that it's like, don't talk about that. That's just Steem isn't about that.
Right.
It's anti, it's sort of anti-blockchain.
Yeah, well, for some people that's true. That is true, but it's I've never been able to. I've been. I don't know how long you've been playing in these spaces, but my time on the internet goes back to the mid 90s, and you know, everybody had there was a time when nobody used their real name at all.
Yeah.
But quite soon after that, I realized that wasn't going to work for me. I get confused. I get confused enough about who I am anyway.
Yeah.
Especially when if I'm sitting behind some other sort of avatar or even a username that isn't my name. So I've gone out there and got my, you know, I use my own name no matter what, and perhaps that stops me from criticizing oppressive regimes and going all out on anti-corporate stuff. It does kind of slice up the space and means that, you know, I can only say the things that I'm willing to put my name to, but at the same time, I'm quite, you know, I feel that I gain more from being able to put my name to the things that I do put out there.
I do as well. I mean, it's quite obvious that I am. My entire name's on my profile. I think I might actually get rid of my surname because that doesn't need to be there. But yeah, it's I mean, because you know, Matt Starkers has pretty much convinced me of the argument that we need businesses to come and invest. But you know, what business is going to invest in Steem if some shitty little troll can, with anonymity, just troll their products into shit?
Yeah,
I don't believe that the future of Steem as an economic powerhouse is compatible with having total anonymity. I just don't think it is.
Okay.
You want this to be a platform for cannabis users and trolls, or do we want it to be a legitimate blockchain business? You know, it's not anti-capitalist, is it? It's very much pro-capital, and I just think those two principles might be incompatible going forwards, and we need somewhere just you know, whoever that is doing it to Marky Mark needs a fucking slap, basically, and you know, not killing or, you know, putting in prison. They just need a fucking talking to as a person. Just stop doing that, you little shit. You know, and if they were a person and they were anonymous, you know, if that's even a word, it's less likely to happen. But that's been my big thing this week. You know, because I think that could be me. You know what I mean? Being that
sure
troll.
Very easily.
When it has happened.
Sure. Well, that's a great. That'll be a great conversation to have. That'll be a great conversation to have face to face.
There might be two sides of the argument there.
I'm sure.
I'm not convinced that I'm right. I'm not convinced that there might be other solutions as well.
Well, that for me is why I do things like SteemCamp, is because so much of our online conversations are constrained by the medium and get stuck in the kind of, you know, the kind of Facebook end of things, with people just saying, you know, stating their position and that's it. You're never going to change my mind. So it's good to get people in a room and you know, in that kind of space, people can really, they just do, they talk, and people people tend to behave a lot better face to face than they do when they're hiding behind a screen.
Well, I think so. I think there's definitely a role for it. I mean, you can't really have much of a conversation online putting comments on people's posts. I mean, I don't really know why I comment, to be honest. It's money is a bit of a motivation there, because it's quite lucrative commenting on people's posts, can't it, at the end of the day?
Right.
If you're a serial commenter, it can mount up, especially in the beginning. But no, it's not just that. It's it's just, I suppose I do it just to keep the conversation going, really, just to keep my presence up, and because I've met all of these people at Steamfest, and it just seems silly to not drop in at least once a month. So it's just sometimes I'm still here.
Yeah, I just like to say to people, I'm still here. I'm still reading what you're writing, and you know, I hear you. You know, I may not be always popping up and saying hello every time. You know, and you're on my auto voter. You're always getting my vote. But I think it's good sometimes to just say to make.
Don't have depth. I mean, and to be honest, Steam's a terrible platform. I think all of them are. Busy, SteamCamp for reading comments. I mean, I remember the old SteemIt, which I can't stand using anymore. When there used to be, you know, somebody used to put up a post about, oh, should we go to a different reward system? You know, forget 75-25, go to 50-50. You know, that's coming back again. But there used to be all of these, posts, like Kevin Wong and Trafalgar, and all of this lot wading in, and a bunch of other people on the other side. And if you've got like a sort of nested thread that's going into like 3 or 4 sub comments, you could end up with this tiny little kind of comment thread at the end that's about 3 words.
Exactly. Yes.
You just can't read it. And people putting 300-word comments on posts at tiny font. I used to read them, because it interested me and I was learning, but now I just don't bother. You're much better off having a conversation about it or going into Discord, because Discord is rapid. And those things that Pensive does, I think one's probably starting in about half an hour. They've been excellent.
Yeah.
Those Save Our Steam things where people are talking and people are commenting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, Discord's a much more natural, discursive. Discord's a great name for it, actually. It's much more of a discursive platform than Steam is, I think.
Sure. I tend to get a bit overwhelmed with it, with those kinds of Discord, those types of environments. There's kind of too many things coming at me, and sometimes the sound as well, and I'm like, so
I need to learn how to get rid of the beeps. That's really got to be on my agenda. I've got a chores day tomorrow. I think I might add that in. Get rid of the damn beeping on Discord. But there's a way. Sure, there's a way.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. You have to be. I don't know. It's like if I'm I've been away for the last couple of Thursdays, but if I'm in, I quite like dropping in on Pence's radio show and watching the chat and listening. And if you're in one channel, and then you can do a little bit of kind of commenting and browsing Steam on them in the kind of quieter moments. It's quite a nice Thursday evening, really. Just after dinner, chilling out.
Yeah. Well, it's great talking to you, Karl. We could talk all night, and we will talk all day.
Yeah, good to me.
In in a few days' time. So thanks very much. I will pop this up on my blog and on the SteemCamp blog as soon as I can. But yeah, enjoy your evening, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, cheers. See
Okay.
you next week.
Bye. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.
There it is.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.